spending some time with her new friend when she found out that Helen was dying. She goes to visit her. Jane finds Helen lying in bed. She goes up to her and sits down beside her.
Jane, is that you?
Yes, Helen, I've come to see you.
Have you come to say goodbye?
Are you going somewhere, Helen?
Oh my God, I'm going home.
I'll stay with you.
Good night, Jane.
Jane wakes up to find Helen dead.
Helen! Helen!
Years later, Jane goes to visit Helen's grave.
A sorghum.
What is your name?
Blanche.
Blanche! I see you are very happy right now, aren't you?
Yes.
You are soon to be married?
Yes.
Well, I have some frightening news. The man you are about to marry is not as rich as you think he is.
No, that's not true.
Is that why you're marrying him, Blanche?
No, of course not.
I see. I wish you a great future.
Thank you. Thank you for the fortune.
A fortune teller shows up at one of Rochester's dinner parties at Thornfield and tells the fortune of Jane and others, including Blanche, the woman that Rochester is set to marry. This is the same where Jane's fortune is told.
Would you like your fortune told?
No, I do not believe in such silly things.
Then I will prove myself to you.
Go on.
You are very near happiness. If you move towards this happiness, great bliss will follow.
At this point, the gypsy removes her cloak, and we see that she is actually Rochester.
Rochester?
Forgive me, Jane. What are they saying out there?
Not much, sir, but are you aware that a stranger has arrived at the manor?
Who, Jane?
His name is Mason, and he's from the West Indies.
Rochester suddenly becomes pale and surprised. Rochester reacts badly to Mason's name. There is a mystery there.
Now, many years have passed since Jane's dreadful childhood. She is now working as the governess at Thornfield. Presently, her and Mr. Rochester are sitting on the bench in the garden, speaking of his engagement to Blanche.
I believe that since you have come here, you have become quite fond of the house, haven't you?
Indeed I have.
And I believe that you have become quite fond of Lady Fairfax and Adele also.
Yes, I am.
It always seems like once one settles in somewhere, that soon after, just as they get comfortable, they have to depart. But I found work for you, Jane. But it's off in Ireland, you see.
It's a long way off, sir.
Any girl with any type of sense would not deny the voyage or the distance.
But I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to leave you.
Jane, I don't want you to leave either. Will you marry me?
Yes, Rochester! I love you so much!
What they don't see is Lady Fairfax in the background watching.
This is the scene of Rochester and Jane's wedding.
Love is patient. Love is kind. You know best. Do you not take this seriously? Does anyone have any objections? Objections should not get married. Isn't Rochester married to a woman named Bertha?
Yes, I am. Jane, I'm sorry. It was a long time ago. Bertha went crazy.
Jane, don't go, Jane. Jane.
Years later, Bertha starts a fire that burns Thornfield down. In the fire, Rochester loses an arm and his sight. He is forced to move to a manor far away.
Who's there? Jane Eyre. Jane, what are you doing?
I came to visit you.
Jane, I don't know if you've heard about the fire. Jane, I love you, but I know you do not love me because of the condition I'm in.
Yes, I do.
Oh, Jane, stop. You don't have to pretend.
But I love you, Rochester.
Without my arm and my eyes?
Yes.
Jane, will you marry me this time?
I will.
Jane,
Thank you for watching this featured presentation of Jane Eyre.